Just a reminder, we aren't only talking about sexual assault. The university discrimination policy defines other prohibited forms of discrimination and harassment. Sexual harassment encompasses unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, or other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature, and can involve people of the same or opposite sex. Sexual harassment that affects your ability to participate in your education or employment based on your decision to accept or deny the unwelcome behavior is prohibited. Examples of sexual harassment include if a colleague makes unwelcome jokes or comments about sex at work or in the classroom. Your professor makes frequent sexual jokes, stares at you, touches you, or insinuates that you will get a better grade or other reward if you engage in a close relationship. An acquaintance has been spreading rumors around campus about your sexuality. A neighbor in your residence hall put sexually graphic materials on the door to your room. Sexual harassment is also prohibited when it creates a hostile environment in which the unwelcome behavior is sufficiently serious and objectively offensive, and denies or limits your ability to get your education or do your work. Remember, you can ask for help from the Title IX coordinator before the behavior gets too bad. If you have been sexually harassed, contact the Title IX coordinator to discuss appropriate measures to stop sexual harassment, such as an investigation that could lead to disciplinary action against the offender. The discipline can include things such as academic probation, all the way to expulsion. The policy also prohibits sexual exploitation, where one person takes non-consensual or abusive sexual advantage of someone else for the benefit of another, like through prostituting another person or showing their genitals. Another example is if someone takes or shows someone else sexually explicit photos or videos without consent. Maybe you consented by saying it was okay to take the picture, but it was not okay to share the picture with anyone else. Remember that consent means that if a person says no, they mean no. Stalking is when someone purposefully or knowingly and repeatedly follows or harasses a person in a way that causes substantial emotional distress or reasonable fear of bodily injury or death. This can be using texts, phone calls, or other social media. For example, if someone has asked you to stop calling them to ask them out, stop. Ask for consent. If you do not ask for consent, you cannot assume that you have it. Relationship violence and dating violence between current or former partners includes emotional abuse that causes someone to fear bodily injury or property damage. It can include physical injury, but also purposefully causing a reasonable fear of bodily injury, repeated contacts like texts, made with the intent to harass or threaten. Alcohol and drugs can be used as a weapon by those who commit sexual misconduct. Intoxicated people are more likely to disregard other people's signals, but drunkenness does not excuse sexual misconduct or discrimination under the university policy. When you take alcohol EDU, be thinking about the role of alcohol and drug use in incidents of sex-based harassment, and be thinking about how you can look out for your friends and for yourself. Being drunk or under the influence of drugs does not entitle a person to or excuse a person from having sexual contact with another person who is unable to consent. If one or both parties is impaired by alcohol or drugs, then consent cannot be given or received. You should know that retaliation against anyone who reports a violation of the university policy or who participates in an investigation, like a witness, is prohibited by the discrimination policy and should be reported to the Title IX coordinator. Retaliation includes intimidating, threatening, coercing, or in any way discriminating against an individual because of their complaint or participation. As an example, if you help a friend report or are a witness in an investigation, you should not face retaliation, and the Title IX coordinator can help you if you do. If you have experienced any of these things, contact the Title IX coordinator to discuss ways to stop the behavior, such as an investigation that can lead to disciplinary action against the offender. The Title IX coordinator also helps with resources, reasonable interim measures like a no-contact directive, academic assistance, help with housing, transportation, counseling, things needed to help you get your education.